Do you love the Tabernacle Choir? This year, the choir's music is everywhere you are. Listen to your favorite choir songs and music and the spoken word anytime you want on Alexa by simply enabling the skill.
Alexa, play music in the spoken word.
Now playing music in the spoken word.
You can also download the Tabernacle Choir app, subscribe to the choir on YouTube, listen on Spotify, and have access to all their wonderful music. Happy listening.
A dog's love letter to his squeaky avocado.
Dearest squeaky avocado, my heart yearns to chew thee. Alas, I've devoured a small action figure and have taken ill, unable to partake in our jubilant squeakings. Worry not, as I am on the mend, and Lemonade Pet Insurance covered 90% of the veterinarian's cost. I recommend all the cats and dogs of the land get a quote at lemonade.com/pet. Soon, my tummy will be unburdened, and we shall frolic once more. Yours, Jerry.
You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb. Presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Garrard alongside the coach, Tim LaComb. We're up here in Logan. It's Pac-12 day as Utah State. We are on the quad. You can't ask for a better day than this. July 1 in Cache Valley, you could either get 100 degrees or you could get pouring rain and 50 degrees. Today, we are right smack dab in the middle.
Well, they'd sing about New York in June. This is Logan in July, and I'm in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The Jazz now have to go find themselves a new center as Walker Kessler is now a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. Interesting move by the Jazz saying, you know what, we're not going to pay. And I think Walker Kessler took $33 million a year from the Lakers. I think he wanted a tad bit more from the Utah Jazz.
And you get yourself in a bad spot when you overpay, even by a little bit, because a little bit adds up to a lot. And again, this collision was coming next year with Keontae anyway. It's why the Jazz wanted to be able to try to fit into this slot. And the fact that it wouldn't work, the Jazz didn't want to, I guess, mortgage the farm. They felt like, hey, we've got a lot of good pieces. We don't need to win it this year. We need to develop. We need to see how this is all going to work, how this is going to be cohesive. You do need rim protection. I get it. So that's what they're working on now, and nothing in free agency. I would expect it to have to come somewhere, trade-wise.
Yeah, and so look, there's a lot of teams out there that will probably try to take advantage of the Jazz, knowing that they're in desperate need of some help at center.
Yeah, there are a ton of teams that a first-round pick or two extra would be a game changer. The Jazz just happen to have 10 extra.
There you can do some damage with that.
Oh, you need another one? Hold on a second. Oh, gosh, it slid between the seats.
Hey,
yep, got it.
JZ, I got one in the back room. Can you go grab that? Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's
like that?
Yeah, just like that. So I know there's some gloom and doom going on out there. I don't think that it's warranted quite yet.
No.
Let's let this thing play out.
No, it's just like Trek. You start pushing. One of the wheels gets lodged. You have to push and maybe take another route, but you're still headed the same place.
Yeah.
And you had to camp out a couple nights, so you can't get there today anyway. So you can't overreact. You have to, in negotiation, you have to have your number that fits and determine the value, and the Jazz did that. And they just, with everything going on and the vibes they were getting, I think it was all a blinking red light to stop and let somebody else deal with it, because he's not the only five man in the ocean.
I always tell my kids the most power you can ever have in life, whether it's jobs or relationships or
you're an expert in that
or buying a car or buying a house, the ability to walk away, and it will always give you leverage.
Yeah, but it's difficult.
It's tough. It's hard to do when you're emotionally invested, but sometimes the best thing is letting other people know that you're willing to walk away, and the Jazz were. I think Walker Kessler and his crew called that bluff, and the Jazz are like, we're not bluffing. There's our number. Take it or leave it. We're offering you 5 years. You want 4 years? There it is. At 33 per, that's we're going to stay put. I think they would have done 3 years at 33. I don't know if
But I don't think that was yeah. I think if it came to that, I think that's where he probably would have charged the Jazz more than the Lakers, just for, I don't know, back damage in his mind. I don't know. But that's where players go. I'm not saying he did, but oftentimes in these situations to get what they want, that's kind of the direction it goes sometimes.
So now the Jazz have to figure out what's best for them, what's in there, how to proceed. And look, when you got the Ainges and you got Justin Zanuck, I think you're in a situation where you got some high-level people in that room to try to figure this thing out.
Always boots on the ground. And, yeah, you know, Austin Ainge is definitely the guy calling the shots. And so it really came down to his decision in the end. You know, was everybody on board with the decision? Who knows?
All right, joining us now, he is the man, the myth, the legend, Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com. Kurt, I think all of us here in Utah anticipated that Walker Kessler in some way, shape, or form would be part of the Jazz next year. This one caught us all by surprise. How about you?
Me as well. I was under the impression that they planned to keep him as a part of a big front line, and like we talked about, kind of a deep roster. But I think ultimately, what is essentially 4 first-round picks? I mean, a couple of them are swaps, but I had I had somebody from a front office tell me the other day, like, how much more valuable swaps are now in this current iteration of the lottery, because it gives you some flexibility. So essentially, you're getting 4 first-round picks, and that was just too much to pass up.
So you're you know, I guess the proverbial question for the Jazz, what now? Free agency is pretty thin. So we're thinking it's something, you know, either is patched together this year and money spent on other things that they're going to need to spend money on down the road.
Yeah.
Or negotiate a trade with your newfound bag of first round picks.
Well, I think you wait on that, right, a little bit until you get the right person, because you can get a Kevon Looney kind of guy. I don't know that it's necessarily him. I know Boston's got an eye on him now, New York's got an eye on him now since they don't have Mitchell Robinson. But, like, you can get a veteran, big-bodied guy to provide some depth pretty cheaply right now. To get somebody special, you're going to have to wait. But you also might want to see how this plays out. Like, if you've got, look, what is the starting 5 now? Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5, Markkanen at the 4, Ace Bailey, Peterson, and George. I mean, that's a really nice group. And then you see where you need to fill in and what moves you need to make and what works for this long term and doesn't, and adjust. But I think ultimately, you can patchwork it this year, but ultimately, what you think you need may ultimately not be what you need once you see it all working together.
So Coach and I were talking to someone in an NBA front office, and they mentioned that the Lakers with new ownership, they're going to rebound pretty quickly. The buses kind of skated by on the Laker name, but obviously we're not very liquid, couldn't get very aggressive in a lot of things. They said the Lakers are going to be a problem going forward because now they're being run the right way with the resources they need to be successful. The Lakers are going to come back, and Rob Pelinka right now is spending money like a drunken sailor out there.
Yeah, it's a little different, but this is sort of what happened with the Dodgers in the sense that, hey, did they go get Freddie Freeman and Shohei Ohtani and spend? Sure. But they also have one of the, if not the best farm system in Major League Baseball, which lets them make some trade up some guys and have some depth. And that's kind of the ultimate concern.
Looks like we may have lost Kurt. We'll try to get him back on the line here. Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com. The Lakers are not going away. The Lakers are now going to rebound. Rob Pelinka has gone all in, and this is the same ownership group that has the majority stake in the Dodgers, and they're going to run them like the Dodgers, and we see what a problem the Dodgers are being to Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah, and obviously the biggest difference is they can spend away in the Major League Baseball. There's no cap But in some ways, this is good to have an aggressive plan. But man, your chips are all in.
Oh yeah.
With only one first-round pick between now in the next 5 years. I mean, you've got to be pretty ingenuitive to figure out how to keep this group together, because some pieces of this aren't going to work. You got to move pieces. So that's a lot of money to invest in 3 guys when you've got all that going on.
So Kurt Helin back with us. It really feels like, as you were mentioning, Rob Pelinka is going all in. He's putting all those chips in the middle of the table.
They also are on a timeline too. Like, this is not a, hey, let's go find a young star and start to build. Luka's 28 now. Like, Luka's in his prime. You've got Kessler was a guy, one of the 2 guys they'd really targeted at center. That they needed to get a rim protecting center who could set a big pick and roll hard, and those guys. Kessler's going to look great. I mean, to be blunt, Luka has lifted up some guys who, I mean, with all due respect to Derek Lively and some of the guys he's played with, he's made them look really good, right? He's made good players look much, much better, and I think Kessler's really going to thrive on that. And they went out and spent, look, Grimes and Memesili and all these guys they picked up kind of smart players on the side, and moved on from LeBron, which was, you mentioned the buses earlier. I'm not sure the buses could have done that or would have done that, because LeBron financially is a windfall for whatever team gets him, right? Like, you are going to sell a ton of jerseys, you are going to get sponsors. He is kind of a economic engine to himself. And I'm not sure the Lakers could have given that up under the bus ownership as easily as they did here, because the advantages are still the Lakers. They still have this massive fan base, but now they're winning. It all is forgiven.
The LeBron special last night that ESPN did for about 2 hours and 45 minutes. He was basically all anybody talked about last night. But do you feel like the legacy itself has perhaps outkicked the actual product that we're still lauding at this point?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, he's still the biggest brand. He's still the big, internationally especially, and even domestically, he's still a huge name that gets recognized. So he brings value. He brings eyeballs. He brings clicks, right? He brings an audience with him whenever you bring him up. And well, as of this morning, he might be I guess Jaylen Brown is still out there theoretically, but like, that might be the most interesting thing, because LeBron's going to take we were talking about it before, like, how big a pay cut is he willing to take? And I know they're saying now he's willing to play for the minimum. I believe it when I see it. But if he's willing to really go, look, Minnesota could probably get him at the taxpayers mid-level of 6.1. Would he go to Minnesota? Like, if he really wants to compete, would he do that? Or does he want to go east? Does he want to play with Giannis in Miami? Like, it's like, if he's willing to take considerably less, his options expand, and he'll get to choose where he wants to be and what he wants to do. And it does become a little bit of like, man, I'd love to see him play with Steph Curry. Like, that'd be a fun thing to watch, and kind of a little nostalgic and reminiscent. But they're not a threat. That combo isn't even with Jimmy Butler healthy and Draymond Green, that team is not threatening the guys at the top of the West. If he really wants to compete, does he have to go back to Cleveland and hope that he can lift them up or something? I'm really curious where he goes with this.
Do you, I mean, we've heard this Golden State and that smoke's been going for a while now. Do you, if you had to put odds on a team for him next year, would it be Golden State?
Yeah, for 2 reasons. They want him. They have made a push for him, going back more than a year. 2, and this is really big, he's close to home. Like, his family's still in Los Angeles. So they're not, in fact, he's building a new, I was going to say home out here would be the wrong term, complex.
Estate?
Estate, yeah. out here in a massive new project. So like they're not leaving, and this is ultimately where he's going to come back to. So would he rather be somewhere like that that's close? Because it's not as easy to get from Cleveland or Miami or wherever else back here. So I think that they check the most boxes, but again, he keeps talking about competing, playing meaningful games. They would play meaningful games. They would be interesting. But if he really wants to compete with the big guns, then he's either got to go to one of the top teams in the East or maybe a team like Minnesota or Denver. I know Windhorst mentioned them the other day. There are teams that he could really help in the West if he wants to stay out there.
By the way, do you think that was Rob Pelinka's way of saying, hey, look, we need you to move on. I'll do this for you. We'll guarantee Bronny, and then you can move on. Because the timing of that was pretty funny. The Bronny gets guaranteed, and then all of a sudden LeBron's out on the streets.
Yeah, I don't think that timing was totally coincidental. By the way, wherever he lands, like that's going to be the next question, right? Like, Miami, hypothetically, it's like, are they going to trade him for a second? I heavily, one of those top 55 protected seconds to Miami for Bronny just so he can be with his dad again. I would not be shocked to see that.
Hey, we have an extra second in the closet we could send for Bronny.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I want to give, like, it's kind of fun to mock him, but I'm going to give him some props in that by the end of last season, you started to see the outline of a respectable rotation player. Like you could see him getting there in a way I couldn't a couple years before. He's not all the way there. He's got a lot of work to do. He's got some size and athletic limitations that are going to keep him from ever being, well, forget his dad. That's not a fair comparison, but like being an all-star or anything, even probably a regular starter. But you started to see the outline of like, hey, he's way better than he was. He's made huge leaps. And so maybe he gets to his credit, maybe he gets to being a rotation guy.
The one thing that he's definitely great at is creating, news. So we will put a pin in that one. Anybody else out there on the free agent market still that you have any interest in, or you think could possibly find their way to Utah? Just generally by any position,
Yeah,
because they're going to have a bunch of money to spend.
Yeah, they're going to have money to spend. I'm trying to think through it. Like, it has come so fast and furious today. So guys that in fact, like I was like going to put together a list of best guys on the board. I'm like, Kelly Oubre's still out there. No, he's gone. Like it's moving really fast right now. So off the top of my head, I've been swimming all day. So it's like my head, not actually swimming. I'm not coming up with another name off the top of my head, unfortunately, but
that's probably what I was finding too, Kurt. So we're on the same page.
Yeah. I'm not sure you're starting to get into bench guys, right? You're starting to generally get into the 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th guy on the bench and guys who are going to play for you. But, since we were talking about the Lakers, like Grimes is a great pickup for them, but like 7th man, 8th man, like that's kind of where we are in the pecking order now.
So if you're Danny Ainge, you're Austin Ainge, you're Justin Zanuck, you've got four first-round picks, but essentially 2 unprotected first and 31 and 33. Yeah. I got a sneaking suspicion the Jazz will not be drafting in those locations. This is going to be ammunition to try to find a way to improve this team dramatically going into next season.
Well, it's funny because somebody pointed out online somewhere that technically you can tie those picks back to the Rudy Gobert trade, right? Like
yeah. Oh, yeah. No, crazy. You so flipped 4 more picks out of Rudy.
Yeah. So Rudy's now out to 2033, and you can extend that further now. Like, so the nature of Danny and Austin is to wheel and deal and find wherever they're going to send this thing next. So, yes, I expect that to be the case. But I like I said, I think you're going to sit back, let the market shake out a little, see what you need, see how Peterson fits, how the whole thing starts to come together and what you want to do. And then you have got real flexibility and optionality is everybody's favorite word. You've got all sorts of optionality to change things around down the line, or go get a guy who does come up that you want.
I've got my like dark horse for LeBron, where he's going to end up. I'm going to say the Wizards.
That would be hysterical.
I honestly, so just remember that, Kurt. And if I'm right, if I'm wrong, you can razz me. But I am saying it's an out there one. But that tied Anthony Davis, and the fact that they don't want to move him, if he's willing to play for the minimum, that'd fit real nice.
Oh, if you put him out there with the Bonsa in between, that's actually starting to become a nice lineup already. A lot of things.
A your turn, my turn lineup, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little awkward. I'm curious how they're going to be respectable, and that alone for Wizards fans will be a nice change of pace. So, you can tune into those games and not be horrified. That's a big step up for the Wizards.
That's a win.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Kurt Helin, NBC Sports and ProBasketballTalk.com. Kurt, the one thing that I think is really fascinating about all of this is that you've got an NBA landscape where free agency used to be such a big deal. Now it's about trades, and we don't see the free agency anymore. Do you ever see that coming back, or is this just what we have now?
It'll depend on the CBA. What's changed is in the effort to get teams to be able to retain their own top players and free agents, it is much more lucrative for a player to extend with the team they're on and then force a trade or do in some way, rather than just hit the free agent market. You get less money hitting the free agent market. It's not, you make for the top end guys, you make more where you are. And so that's just kind of the pattern. You're also, with that, you're getting, especially once you get, out of the top couple of players on a team, those are more and more shorter contracts. It's 3 years with an option on the end, and guys are getting moved around, and there's non-guaranteed years and what have you. There's a lot more, teams are trying to be a lot more flexible and have a lot more ways to move things around. But until they change the CBA again, which they will, right now, for good players, it just makes more sense to extend where you are and get the bag and then worry about getting out of town.
Do you, is there a lot of times when things go quiet, it's when something's close to getting done. Are you hearing anything on the Jaylen Brown front?
Under that theory, he could get moved in the next hour. It's what I've heard, and in fact, I just wrote on our tracker at NBC Sports, trying to keep up with all the free agent stuff, is two things they're talking to teams, but two things are kind of, I don't want to say scaring teams off, but giving them pause. One is the asking price. Boston wants 4 first-round picks or picks and players combos, but good players. This is not a team that's looking to tank and rebuild, right? They've got Jason Tatum still. They plan to win on the fly. So the other thing though is, and maybe the bigger issue is, Jaylen Brown makes $57.1 million next year and has $126 million guaranteed for the 2 years after that. He is on a supermax deal that is really expensive. And it's not that he's not a very good player. I don't want to he was 6th in MVP voting last year. I don't want to take this away from him, but that number gives teams pause no matter how good he is. Do we really, if we take this on, we lose that flexibility. We are stuck here. Is that where we want to be? And that's not, teams aren't giving up what Boston wants in a deal.
So anything surprise you other than LeBron, and that was the biggest surprise, but anything else out there surprise you in terms of movement around the league?
the Kessler thing surprised me. Oh, the other guy is Duran, but I think that's kind of, I would be shocked if Duran has a Kessler-like move in him, because the Kessler thing caught me off guard. Duran is kind of in the same restricted free agent situation. He can get a little more money on the table because he's got an All NBA under his belt. But the difference is, because he's proven it, he's a 22-year-old guy who's just made All NBA. Detroit's not giving him up. Everything I talk to is like, Detroit's like, don't, if you want to make an offer sheet, go ahead. I'm going to tie up your money for 47 hours and 59 minutes. Then I'm going to match it, right? Like, we're not going to talk trades. We're not letting this guy go. But that drama is still out there as he's trying to do sort of what Walker was doing, which is, I want more money than you're putting on the table for me.
Kurt, always a pleasure. Never a dull moment, especially here locally. Thanks for your time, and look forward to chatting with you again here very soon.
I'll talk to you soon.
There he is, Kurt Helin, NBC Sports, ProBasketballTalk.com. All right, we're live up here in Logan, Utah State University. It is the first day of the Pac-12. Yes, the Pac-12 is Utah State is officially a member as they expand not only with Washington State and Oregon State, but you've got Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Boise State. You go down the list, and then you throw Texas State into the mix. It's a new era of college athletics and a new era for Utah State. Coming up next, we'll get back to this Walker Kessler situation with the Utah Jazz, what this means, and what the Jazz can do going forward. It's all straight ahead. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Utah is right here, right here. This is Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I don't know if it's been a top 5 show, but it certainly has been a top 5 playlist, courtesy of Lloyd Cole.
I would say probably the best playlist we've had, and kudos to you for that. And then, no, it ain't top 5. Bronco Mendenhall
singing.
That makes it at least the top 3.
Oh, yeah. No.
Come on.
Yeah. That was, and by the way, not just singing, enthusiastically singing.
Yeah, because we value our roots.
You know what? So, I mean, look, you both have been out of high school for a minute, and the fact that you still know the song, like
verbatim.
Like, I don't know my high school fight song.
I can't lay out the geography of my high school like DJ can. Where the mural was, where the water fountain was, the science lab. But I can tell you, we actually had the words to that on the wall of the gym. So every time you're in the gym,
you saw it.
Yeah, so it just kind of like Bronk on that Trek tour. He was teaching them without even knowing he was teaching them.
If you missed any of our conversations, we've had some good ones today. Ben Anderson, you'll hear Ben coming up here in about a half hour, continuing to break down the Walker Kessler trade on his way to the Lakers. But he joined us. We also heard from Brad Mortensen, president at Utah State University, Cam Walker, athletic director, Ben Jacobson, as well as Bronco Mendenhall. So if you missed any of those, they'll be up for you on our podcasting platforms. Just search Scotty and Coach, and you'll be able to find it. Also available for you at KSLSports.com. So the question is, a lot of Jazz fans, they're not the most patient bunch. And they want answers. They want responses. They want rosters being filled out. They want to know exactly what this thing's going to look like going forward. I would say be patient, but we could find out what the Jazz have up their sleeve in an hour. It could be, in December. Who knows?
Well, I do know the next 24 to 48 hours will be interesting because, as we've alluded to, probably the 7,000th time, but that's radio, right? Yeah, you're supposed to do that.
As Lloyd, as a great philosopher once said, radio is not linear.
That's right. Nor am I. So it's a nice fit. Did I tell you Bronco Mendenhall sang?
Bronco Mendenhall sang, yes.
And you guys are even debating top 5. Like, what else would have to happen? That would be like, let me put this into sports context. Rick Majerus tap dancing.
Yeah, I actually, that might be about right, honestly.
I mean, seriously, you think of another great Jerry Sloan playing acoustic guitar and serenading a ballroom.
Yeah, maybe in a.
It's not. You don't equate one with the other.
Yeah, he and Phil Johnson singing "Summer Lovin'." Yeah, I just don't see that.
Had me a blast.
Yeah.
In matching.
Yeah.
Letterman's jackets. Boom, boom, boom.
You're so done with the Walker Kessler conversation.
No, I'm not.
No, I know.
I
am too. Just because there's this, it was a gut punch. I think we all just anticipated Walker would be on this roster this year, and now that he's not, I just want to see the fact that this team, which has struggled so much defensively over the last couple of years, figure out how to be better at rim protection and rebounding. I mean, those are the two things that this team's got to be much better at, and they got to find a way to get it done.
Yeah, and every building has a timeline, and yeah, we thought we were completely ready to hit.
Yep.
The nice part, Scotty, is that I talked last week, the most talented roster in Jazz history. I mean, that certainly takes a hit when you lose him. But from one to whatever you want to go to, like we talked about Svi yesterday, he shot 43% on just crazy weird minutes. Like he would play 2 nights and then not play for 5. That messes up your rhythm. So it's really hard to shoot 43 unless you're really good. And so he was a guy that was there, but the Jazz will do their research. I've said since Austin got the job to anybody that listen, he knows players. And, they don't need anybody to come in and be a crazy hero. They need rim protection and rebounding. This iteration, this
Yes.
year, that's what they need to be able to then stick Nurk in and play behind him. And, then everybody else can operate as normal.
You mentioned, and I think it's honestly, it's a good philosophy of saying, okay, well, were the Jazz going to win a championship next year? Probably not. So maybe take that money and reinvest it in solidifying other positions and then piecemealing the center position. I just look at a guy that like Larry Markkinen, who's been patiently waiting for this team to win. And I think all along has been like, okay, now we go. And then being like, maybe we're just going to wait a little longer. Not that this team's going to lose, but they're not going to be right where we thought they might be in terms of a complete team. I think just for the good of the roster and keeping guys that have been patiently waiting through all this, the Jazz need to find a way to add to this group and find some help at that center position.
Right. But again, like to be able to have groomed Flip for, urgency minutes or emergency minutes, however you want to look at it. But he went in there and battled bigger guys. So he's like, that's the last thing he remembers. And obviously Nurk had as good a career as he's had in the last 4. Last year, he really hit a groove. Guys like playing with him. I foresee, like Ben Anderson said right after the signing of Nurk, that Nurk and Darren Peterson will be a deadly handoff duo. I mean, Nurk he cuts a swath, man. It'd be like trying to get around a handoff from Hans Olsen. You know what I mean? Like, good luck. And that's what people deal with. So the ball handler like Darren Peterson's always on attack. And, man, that's what he came to Utah to do.
More triple-doubles for Nurk.
Yeah, Nurk's going to have a good year. God willing, he stay healthy. He's getting a little older. Again, don't tag him in a tweet or he'll block you, and you won't be able to see what he's up to.
Yeah.
So just type it out, Nurk.
I mean, if anybody's having a good day today, it might be Filipowski. He's like, my playing time may have just increased dramatically.
No, he's valuable. I've said it all along. I'll call him Cam Boozer light, but a very similar player, at least at this stage. I think Cam can develop into more of a ball handler, but if you clear a side and give Flip 3 dribbles, you're totally fine with that as a coach, and that's hard to do with big guys. But he can take 2 dribbles and get in his little spin game and either find a guy to kick it to or go score it. So to me, that's the benefit of Flip, and it won't be ideal, but you at least have big guys and you've got a stopgap. At least you're not going to be playing with like last year with at times Cody Williams played center last year when they were really injured.
Yeah. Let's maybe not go back to that time.
I'm sorry, that brings back bad memories.
I know. There's a lot.
Show me the title.
And maybe it's because because this is the power that you have, in your short time in sports radio. But you brought up Gafford. Now that seems to have caught fire within Jazz Twitter sphere.
That was actually Ben Anderson that brought
Oh,
that
was that
up.
Ben?
Yeah.
Okay.
And astutely, Gafford, a definite member of the Jake Scott, Tim LaComb pre- and post-game all-star team, for those that you don't know about. Like, we go below, but we've always liked Gafford. If he can stay healthy. That's the one caveat.
That's the biggest thing there is, can he stay healthy?
And when you hear walking boot and big guy, that does not – because feet really become important for those dudes. And no other way to do it. You got to carry the load.
That's usually not a good combination. In case you're just joining us, and I'm just getting texts from buddies of mine that are listening, and they'll be like, wait, Walker Kessler, what? We sometimes assume that everybody is just sitting around the radio all day, but dial to their phone and watching Twitter. But no, yes, indeed, Walker Kessler is on his way to the Los Angeles Lakers and then signing a 4-year, $140 million contract. It'll pay him about $33 million per. And so he will team up with Austin, Luka, and when you look at that roster, those three guys are worth $125 million against their salary cap next year. You've got 51, 41, Oof. And 33.
Everybody else better be ready to play for at a discount.
Yeah, you got the Tom Dundon contracts after that.
Okay, everybody, Dundon, will you take care of the rest of the 8 guys?
I got a trade deal with a donut place, so I'll get you a dozen glazed. I'm like, well, can I at least get jelly? No, they got to be glazed. But a dozen glazed every Monday morning. All right, fine, I'll take it. That's about what they've got working for them.
What do you think of my LeBron to Washington? You chuckled?
I chuckled,
but you could see that happening.
I could see. I think he wants to win a title, though. I think he wants that extra ring.
Trae Young and him. I mean, who's going to stop that?
Trae Young.
My favorite is LeBron will come for, league minimum. Well, it's one of those ads that's like, as it's going to break, it's like, may contain course. Like when you sign him at minimum, that the caveat that he may destroy your world in short order in a big string of phrases is that's what's going to happen.
All right, here you go.
LeBron for me.
LeBron wants to piggyback to a title. LeBron next year, San Antonio Spurs.
I just had that same look. I thought the same thing. There is no doubt he's looking for, because he's always kind of done it by committee, unless it was, well, he's always done it by committee.
Oh, yeah, Kyrie was with him on that Cleveland one.
Yeah, and for them, I like to remind people, save their behinds a couple of times. Yeah. That long three from the left wing, right wing.
Right wing, yeah.
Step, boop.
Yeah, they don't come close to winning that title without Kyrie.
So while he's awesome, he has needed dudes, because when he doesn't have other dudes around him, or the dudes aren't maybe strong where he's weak, in the case of Luka, the team just goes to mush. His teams go to mush, ultimately. A very ripe tomato.
And if you're like, okay, well, what can I do to really make sure that my team does not go to mush? Go with a generational player who hasn't even scratched his prime yet in Wemby, and that can overcompensate for my massive defensive inequities.
It would actually, you know what, that does make sense in some ways, because the floor you have to cover on the defensive side, both in ISO and in help, is minimized because Wemby takes up about a half your job.
Yeah, he's Rudy 3.0.
Right. I mean, if he's in the vicinity, they're not throwing a lob because he can easily. So it does make a guy's job easier who doesn't move as well. And that characterization of piggybacking, that'd be a full effect right there.
Oh, yeah.
That would jump on.
That would be the most LeBron move of all LeBron moves. Golden State, that just seems like it's a, like a really high-priced retirement home. It's going to be fun and the food's good, but you're not winning anything. He goes to San Antonio, he might very well win a championship. And the other thing is, as much as we make fun of LeBron, he's still a top 10 player in the league. Statistically.
I'll do everybody a favor. Just save your money. Don't go watch LeBron and all those guys. If they get together, don't go watch it. Give it 2 years, and you can go for free at your nearest 24-hour fitness. Because they're not like on the verge of, like, this is the swan song.
Yeah.
So a couple of years, you seriously just lean up against the glass, like, oh, wow, I didn't have to pay any money. I've got front row.
Because that's about the quality of the basketball
and
you're going to get.
I don't want to minimize. Like, LeBron's still good, but to my point with David yesterday, is he worth everything that comes with him? Because he cannot operate in an environment that isn't 100% about him.
Oh, yeah.
I totally believe that.
Yeah. In fact, somebody reported that he is actually in talks of doing a documentation, essentially a
reality show.
Reality show, focusing in on his last year in the NBA, essentially his last year in the NBA, even though it's not official. So, yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I can't imagine that Bronco would be very happy with that, you know. These Orthodox guys, I mean, LeBron sees an opportunity to make a buck, and that's where it becomes like Bronco, you talk to him, he's out there right now in the middle of the summer trying to build a team of guys that like each other or at least respect each other, work together. I mean, it's such a huge part of the battle. And then you bring in a energy vampire on the bus. If you know, you know.
Oh, yeah. All right, we'll wrap up this bad boy next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Gentlemen, the biggest name. You're locked on to Scotty G and the coach, Tim LaComb, presented by Mountain Land Supply on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone, wrapping up the show, but we have done a bad thing today, and we apologize because we know that this is your home of the 1-minute World Cup updates, and you demand them, and because we've had a crazy show with the Walker Kessler thing and up here in Logan, so we apologize. We have not gotten your 1-minute World Cup update with the great Alex Napolis, but we still have time, and it's a big day because Team USA is hitting the pitch later today, so let's get to it. Alex is ready. I know you, the listener, are ready. It is your 1-minute World Cup update starting right now.
The U.S. men's national team is back in action tonight as they get ready to take on Bosnia and Herzegovina at the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium. The U.S. men's national team looking to win their first World Cup knockout game since 2002, looking for their first win against a European side since back in 2021. The U.S. men's national team will face Bosnia with the services of Christian Pulisic, who is ready to go. He's 100%. He's going to give it all, according to him, in yesterday's press conference, he's going to give it his all and is ready to roll for the Bosnia and Herzegovina match. Last night, the Norway beat Ivory Coast 2-1 thanks to goals from Erling Haaland. France taking down Sweden 3-0, and then Mexico winning their first knockout game in 40 years after a 2-0 win against Ecuador. Earlier today, England fight off a scare from the Congo as Congo is up 1-0 for a large majority of that game. 2 late goals from Harry Kane to put the English national team through to the next round. Belgium and Senegal coming up here at 2 o'clock. The winner of that one will take on the winner of the U.S. versus Bosnia game. So if the U.S. move on, they'll take on the winner of that one. Tomorrow, Spain and Austria at 1 p.m.
You got it. We're counting it. All right, so, Alex, how confident are you feeling right now, Team USA?
You know what, man? I'm feeling really, really confident. So there was a great moment last night in the Annapolis household as we were watching Mexico take down Ecuador. And again, that was their first knockout win in 40 years. So, I mean, if Mexico went and did that, I'm feeling really, really great about the U.S. men's national team's chances tonight.
You see the drone footage when that goal was scored in Mexico City?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of people celebrating.
I think there was 800,000 people in the plaza out there to celebrate.
Wow. That's just crazy. All right, so everybody's healthy, though, right, for Team USA?
Everybody's healthy, and again, I mentioned with you guys a couple World Cup minutes ago,
Well,
that the Christian Pulisic, yeah, there you go. Christian Pulisic was ready to go, And I think when it comes to the U.S. and how far they can actually go in this tournament, I think a lot of it is going to come down to Christian Pulisic, the way he plays, the way he commands the midfield, and his availability and how healthy he is. And so heading into this game, he says he's ready to go. Mauricio Pochettino also coming out in a press conference saying that he's ready to roll. And so Christian Pulisic, I think from the get-go, will be the guy to watch for the U.S. men's national team tonight.
Okay, I'm making a little bit of an executive decision, even though I'm no longer an executive. Lloyd, you have final say on this, but I think if Team USA wins a knockout game today and advances into the round of 16, that we add 1 minute, so it's a 2 minute of World Cup update.
Are you?
I'm going to one better that. You know what? If that happens, it'll be 4 hours of Alex Napolis tomorrow.
That sounds like okay deal.
4 hours of Alex Napolis tomorrow if that happens.
So tomorrow's when it's going to happen. Huh?
Yeah. So I will say, okay, so if they do win, you and I, they're going to kick us off the air.
This was awesome, man.
Yes, that's what's going to happen.
I really do.
Might even happen even if they don't win. We don't know. Who knows?
I mean, go out on a high note. Broncos sing. I mean, let it be known, let it be heard, let it be written.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Scott Garrard, the coach, Tim LaComb. All right, you're going to want to buckle up for this one. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson coming up next, and you know those two. I'm sure they got some thoughts on what went down today.
Definitely talking to the right people, too, so I'm looking for the intel as well. It's been awesome being up here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, big thanks to everybody up here in Logan. They've treated us like gold, and it's been a fun atmosphere. First day of the Pac-12 for Utah State University. And if you missed any of our conversations, including Bronco Mendenhall, yes, singing with Tim LaComb, all you have to do is...
Zero day of highest views of you. Okay, I was just going to...
Is it still... Did they have they adjusted it at all, or is it still the same fight song?
Still same one, baby.
All right, well, good. All right, remember, you can catch any part of the show on our podcasting feed. Just search... Scotty and the Coach on whatever podcasting platform you use. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.